What is up, guys? Welcome back to another incredible episode of the Motivation Everything Show. I'm your host, Cody Cottle, joined today by a very special guest, Mr. Paul Scott. We're going to be diving deep into an incredible topic. What is Forex? If you guys are like me, you've probably had questions around this, and you probably get a lot of DMs talking about Forex, but none of us actually know what it is. None of us understand how it works. I've gotten the privilege, guys, of knowing Paul. Paul's someone that we get to work with on the Maverick Media side of things, and he's just an incredible, genuine, amazing person. He brings a ton of value. I'm really excited to cover this topic. It's something that we've never talked about on the show before, and there's no one better to take us through it than Mr. Paul Scott. Paul's a 27-year-old from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's become a professional Forex trader and global networker, guys. Help me give a warm welcome to Paul. Go ahead, drop live below in the chat. Say welcome, Paul. Show him some love. And Paul, man, thanks for being here, bro.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Cody. Really appreciate it. Really excited to be able to go ahead and reach out to, so many people on the Motivation Everything show. So the Motivation Everything fan group, right?
Yeah, man. We're just, we're trying to make the world a better place. Created all of this originally around the idea of just creating a community and applying that motivation into all aspects of our life so we can really see real tangible results. And it's cool, man, because I get the honor of meeting guys like you. And I get the honor of bringing people like you in here to speak value into the audience. And yeah, so, my goal with this is if even one person in the world watching this or watches it later sees this and what you share with them today positively impacts their life, then I truly feel that the intention of this show is being achieved.
That's powerful. That's powerful, especially, anything in life, right? It all starts with mindset. Right. So it's always a journey of constant. Yeah, there you go. The mindset, honey. Look, it all starts there. It's a constant it's a constant journey of just growth and personal development, becoming the best version of yourself and those tiny steps forward, in your mindset. And then they just reciprocate in your life. Right.
Yeah. So let's take that. It's a great entry point for you. Tell us your story. Tell us your journey, how personal development, everything you've been through changed your life and how you stepped into who you are today, trading Forex with the freedom you have, traveling the world, doing all the amazing things that you're doing.
Yeah. I started at a young age. I was about 3 years old, and I told my mom my first word was Forex. And so, no, just kidding. I didn't grow up, just wanted to be a Forex. Like, nobody just falls, nobody is like destined to be a Forex trader. It kind of actually just like fell into my lap. It was kind of crazy. So for me, I truly have a passion for serving people, right? I've always wanted to serve and give back. And my parents kind of drilled it into me. They were like, whatever you do in life, right, you have to plan it out, right? They said, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? So, and they had already kind of created this plan for my life, where college was a part of it, because I'm sure you heard the same thing, right? The degree equals success. So they were like, you're going to college. We've already got the fund started for you. The money's there. You're going. So I had to figure out what I was going to study. And in my passion to give back, help and serve people, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to find something where I can make a difference. And in my community, I saw a police officer doing that every day. He was always volunteering. He was at soup kitchens, community events. He was a DARE officer, so he was teaching kids about drugs in the school. He was extremely, extremely active, and not just in my town, but all the surrounding areas. Like, everybody knew who this officer was. I saw him constantly making a difference. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. This is my opportunity to have impact. So I got a degree in criminal justice, planned on pursuing that. And when I graduated, like most graduates, I didn't have a job. I found out that it takes over a year to go through that process and get into law enforcement. So I needed a job in the meantime, found myself working at a factory. And it was just the, in the meantime thing. I was going to be here for a little while. And when I started to go through that process, and I was there for about 6, maybe 7 months, working 15 hours a day in a factory, stacking boxes. It was a potato chip factory. So I hated it. I was overworked, underpaid. I literally came home exhausted, couldn't enjoy my days off because I just didn't want to get out of bed. And I just kind of woke up one day. It was like, this isn't it. I'm not having an impact right now. I get police officer long term. That's the goal. But like, my day-to-day for the last 6-7 months, I haven't been helping anyone serve it. Like it's the complete opposite of what I wanted to do. And I could provide so much more value than where I'm at right now. And thinking about the police officer process being over a year, right? Let's say I didn't get hired in, my first couple applications, right, which happens a lot, right? So now I'm on year 2 and then year 3, 4. And I'm just like, that can't be the journey for me. So I needed an immediate change, and just kind of made a contract with God at that moment and said, look, if you provide me with an opportunity to get out of this situation, get back some time freedom, and really just kind of break this cycle and allow me to serve people, then I'll dedicate my life to doing just that, serving people and kind of helping them pursue that same level of freedom. Yeah. And right in that moment is when I was just scrolling through Facebook, and my brother, who I actually hadn't talked to in a little while, had been trading Forex for over a year. And he made a post about, his journey and how things were going so well. At that point, he had made like $1,000 in a day, which obviously caught my attention. And I was like, wow, you know what? I remember he told me about this like a year ago. All right, let's find out what this is. And I started to dive in and realize what an amazing opportunity the Forex realm was, what the Forex industry really had to offer people. It was an amazing skill and was definitely worth learning, right, and implementing into your life. And since then, I was able to quit my job, and just like you mentioned, I've been able to travel the world. I've helped close to 700 people, so hundreds and hundreds of families around the world, 16 different countries. Obviously not traveling right now anymore, Corona and whatnot, stuck in the US, but we've been able to have an incredible impact. And it's amazing to see how God's plan for my life was so much bigger than what I could have ever imagined, right? Like immediately I thought, okay, what have I seen in my community? How can I make an impact? Police officer, right? Where I would have just been able to impact that small community. Whereas now I'm trading Forex and I'm impacting on a global scale, helping hundreds and hundreds of, like, it's so much bigger than I could have ever thought or imagined. Yeah. And it really comes down to just some of the testimonies, like why I'm so passionate and excited about what it is that we have. And in this industry of Forex, is really just because what it's done for people's lives. Like I have a business partner, and she, last year taught us a lot of things, right? A lot of unexpected things have happened with the pandemic and whatnot. But even before that, life always happens, right? Like there was a business partner who got into a really, really bad car accident, and she was bedridden. She literally couldn't move any of her limbs, and she was just stuck. And the diagnosis from the doctor was, look, we can give you some pain meds to help you manage, but like, this is going to be your life. You'll never walk again. This is it. And she refused to believe that. And thankfully, even though she had a corporate job, she wasn't a multimillionaire, right? But she had been investing and trading and doing some other things and had her money working for her. So she had some funds. So she literally traveled to the Mayo Clinic and saw some of the best doctors inside the US. She's traveled abroad. She went and did whatever she needed to do, scans, tests, and traveled all over the world, but was able to come up with a cure. And now to this day, she's able to walk, she's traveling, she's, doing some amazing things. You would have never known that, probably how long, this was like probably 8 years ago, that this is a woman who was told she would never walk again, so it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. And so to be able to see the immediate impact of something like this, the funds that she got from this, and investing and preparing before she needed it in the emergency, how that can impact somebody's life.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing how the freedom that it created financially and with time to be able to invest that. It's an amazing story. When I listen to your story, Paul, I think it's interesting and amazing how God works, and how you had this passion to become a police officer, and how the process wasn't exactly what you expected it to be, right? And because of that, it made you have to go get this job at this potato chip factory, which I'm sure you didn't love. Yeah. And then that led to the avenue of you being introduced to Forex trading, right?
Absolutely.
And then through that, you saw a vehicle. You saw a vehicle for your life. You saw an opportunity, and you took it. And you didn't just take it, man. You ran with it. And I just want people listening to the show right now to understand that what is your guys' struggle? What is your applying for a cop position and not going the way you want it to be? What is your potato chip factory? And what is your Forex? Where are you at in life? What struggle are you going through? Where did you get directed that you don't want to stay? And what opportunities and vehicles do you guys have in your life currently? And maybe it's Forex trading to change your circumstances and to step into a greater purpose in life. And Paul, take us more down that road of, what it meant for you being able to be redirected. I always say rejection is redirection. And I truly feel you were rejected in a way to redirect your life to where you're at now. What was going through that process like?
I think it was something that a lot of people go through. I mean, I've seen it even so. I was always into sports, right? So I had, being the freshman and, having those older friends. So even in college, I had seen a lot of my teammates who graduated and being stuck and redirected into, but it's like you see it over and over again, but you never think, oh, that'll be me.
Right.
I'm going to graduate with the job and, things are going to. So it was like I saw it over and over again. But it didn't really hit me until it became reality, until it became my reality. And then I guess for me, it was just easier to cope with because I had seen it so many times. But it was this awakening like, hey, look, I need a change, and it wasn't just, look, plenty of opportunity out there, right? Where the technology, the internet, there's tons and tons and tons of opportunities, not just in Forex either. There's plenty of different ways to invest or different opportunities to do a lot of different things. It's just about taking action, right? What am I going to take advantage of? What am I going to run with? And for me, I kind of realized like the key to shortcutting that success is compressing those time frames to success is having a mentor, right? Having a mentor, someone who's done it before, who can show you, there's prints in the sand and walk you through that process rather than you trying to do all the research and then trial and error on your own. Yeah, there's plenty of information out there, but I'm sure even Cody, you realize anything you do, right? You can plan as much as you want, but when you actually start doing it and walking the walk, there are challenges and things that arise. And, it's not exactly like you read it in the book, right? Just like in school, right? So that's the key to having a mentor. So having a mentor, having a community behind you of people that are all moving in the same direction, right? Sometimes it can be hard to break out and learn a new skill like Forex or break out into something different like starting a business, right? Not all of your friends and family and not everyone's going to support you up front, right? So having that community behind you of people that are all in the same industry, in the same niche with the same goal, it raises your belief level, right? It keeps you motivated to move forward because just like learning the piano or guitar or anything like that, you're learning a new skill and Forex is no different. So people there's this stigma of our industry because people don't really understand it. And because you have the ability to make huge profits, right? And I'm sure a lot of the scammers are flashing screenshots of millions of dollars being made and all this kind of stuff. So people get really excited, right? There's a lot of hype because it's like, okay, this is something new. I don't understand it. I see millions of dollars. So there's got to be opportunity. Why don't I move forward? Right. And so they're falling into some wrong things.
Right. And I think that's, the thing that people see is if an opportunity seems too good to be true, it usually is. And people have hype sold Forex. So this is the greatest point in this conversation to segue. Paul Scott, what is Forex? Tell us.
Yeah, that's probably something we should go over first for sure. Yeah, you know what? That's one of the things my parents taught me too, right? I'm sure we've all heard it, right? Something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And one of my mentors introduced me to just a different level of thinking. He said, Paul, if every opportunity is too good to be true, how are you ever going to find a true opportunity?
Boom.
Right? Like we're stuck here in a bad situation. And like you said, making that pivot, making that segue, we've got to be willing to do something different, right? And so getting into Forex, like what is it? I'm sure we've all been to an airport before sometime in our lives and seen that little kiosk, right, with the Forex and the different currencies. So if you've ever traveled, and I'm sure Cody, I know you've been out of the country, several times. What are some of the places you've been?
For me, I've actually only done Southern Caribbean. So I've been to Aruba, Curacao, Grand Turks, and St. Croix.
Okay, cool. So some of these South American places, I don't know any of the currencies.
Some of them, there were definitely different currencies. One was Dutch owned, one was English owned. So there was definitely a foreign exchange of currency with their value for sure.
Right. Exactly. So if you wanted to spend any money at the local shops and stuff like that, you'd have to exchange into whatever their local currency is there, right?
Right.
So same thing, when you get off the plane, you've got to take, I don't know, $1,000 or whatever it is, turn it into their currency. And when you go back to the airport, you understand those prices are always moving, right? Always changing.
Yeah.
So if I take $1,000 and switch it into whatever the local currency is, now let's say I've got a friend I'm staying with, so I'm not spending any money, right? And I'm only there for a couple of days. When I get back to the airport and try to exchange again, there's going to be a different price. So that 1,000, even though I didn't spend anything, is not 1,000 anymore. It can be maybe 800, meaning that I lost $200, even though I didn't do anything, right? Or it's 1,200, meaning that I made $200, even though I didn't do anything. Obviously, we want to be on the right side of that, right? 1,200 is always better
all
than
day.
losing money.
Yeah, it's going up and down. And
Exactly.
what is affecting that?
There's a lot of different things that affect the price. I mean, it has to do with like the commerce of the country. So how many, goods are being sold, import, export, that kind of stuff. I mean, it has to do with the news, the government. There are a lot of different things that impact it. But yeah, it's basically, but it is a skill set, being able to look at charts and read and figure out whether it's going up or down. And again, it's not an exact science, right? Nobody can predict the future. Obviously, there are some things that go wrong, and even expert traders can be wrong, right? And you place some wrong trades and you lose some money. But that's with investing, period, right? And again, when I mentioned the stigmas, like that's one of the things. Anyone guaranteeing you anything, like that's one of the biggest red flags in this industry, because at the end of the day, no one's a fortune teller, right? Even the best traders in the world, you're going to be wrong sometimes, right? You're going to lose some money. So anyone that's upfront about that, I mean, everyone should be upfront about that, right?
Yeah.
But that's essentially how this industry works. And that's all Forex is, right? Exchanging one currency for another. Best part, I don't have to travel to be able to do this. I do it straight from my laptop or my computer. So, or my cell phone, so just being able to look at charts, place these trades straight from the computer, and being able to work from anywhere. And obviously, profit off of that movement in the market. So that's all Forex is. So super simple.
Dude, I love it. So what you guys are doing is you're exchanging currencies and catching when the value you buy on one currency goes up between the exchange with the other currency, right?
Correct. So for example, exchanging like the US dollar for the euro, right? So obviously the euro is worth a little bit more than the US dollar, but maybe we're buying and selling, and let's say something's going really well in the US. Pfizer, the vaccine came from America. Great. So now, the US might be closing the gap a little bit on the euro, right? So that we can benefit from that. And it doesn't always have to be US dollar pairs, but again, that was just a random example. But you can do that with any currency anywhere around the world. And again, there's different things like news that affect it, and import, export, and especially a lot going on with the vaccines and whatnot, what countries they're coming from. So there are a lot of things that impact the price. But you can basically look at these patterns. The market's always repeating itself, like any financial market, right? So there are patterns and things that you can learn and pick up on and start to read these markets like a book. It's a skill that you can learn and pick up and figure out how to place these trades and benefit off of what's going on in these different markets.
I love it, man. So, all right. So what exchanges and platforms are people able to exchange currencies on?
Great question. So one of the most popular ones, I guess, is it's called MetaTrader 4. Again, that's just the app that you're using on your phone to be able to, exchange. Now, here's the thing. There's kind of a third party that actually holds your money. So it's kind of like your bank account for Forex, right? To be able to use your debit card, you got to have money in the bank. Well, it's the same thing. To trade in Forex, you got to have money in an account with a broker. So your broker is like this third party place. And that's where you're investing your funds, and the person that's holding your money. And then whatever you're trading in the Forex market is being held by the broker. So all of your money made or lost, any transactions in and out of your account, it's all between you and your broker. And there's thousands, tens of thousands of brokers out there. So lots of options. And again, this is actually kind of one of the things that you have to be careful about, right? Doing your research, because this is the person handling your money, right? You put it into an institution, and let's say that broker shuts down, right? Well, what happens to your money? So you've got to be really careful and make sure you're using some reputable brokers. And again, putting your money in the right places.
Yeah. So that's actually like a good thing to like go into now too. Like, first of all, can you just cover some of the common misconceptions about the Forex industry? Maybe reveal some of those, like is it fact or myth?
Yeah, sure. Um, Well, I guess fact or myth. I think that a lot of especially like what I get on, I even get them right on Instagram and Facebook, where it's like, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin and stuff like that? I think there's a big misconception because of this industry is really coming to light because of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, everyone's heard of Bitcoin. Everyone knows about Ripple and some of these altcoins that are going on. So like, is Forex like the same thing as that? That's what I get too, right? Is Forex like this Bitcoin thing? So with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, that's like a subsection. So cryptocurrencies, let's say they do about $2 trillion in volume in the whole Forex like market.
Yeah.
The Forex industry, as far as just again trading US dollar for the Great British Pound and regular fiat currencies, that industry is over $6 trillion.
Wow.
Right. So yeah, it's about $6.7 trillion. So
It's amazing how much of that market share crypto is beginning to take, though.
yeah, I mean, look, it's close to $7 trillion is the whole Forex pie, and that's without crypto. And then crypto adds another like two into that, right?
Wow.
So yeah, so crypto is definitely becoming big, but it's a little subsection. So it's like it's part of Forex, but it's not the same thing. So I guess that is one of the big things. Another myth is that this is a get rich quick, right? Like I had mentioned earlier, it's a skill set that you learn, and just like learning a new language or playing an instrument, it's gonna take time, right? And I think that a lot of the scammers and sometimes some educators, right? They go, oh yeah, it's gonna be real quick. You come in for a month, 2 months, and they're again showing their profits, and they're successful if they are successful, but they're showing something and making people believe, hey, you can do this in 2 weeks. That's not the case, right? It's going to take time. Now, can you, with a mentor, be able to shorten that learning curve, doing things like taking live trades on, on real-time calls? Like, for example, that's one of the things that we do, right? We've got these trade rooms, and we have expert educators who are, Forex experts, and they're breaking down different charts and explaining, hey, this is what I'm looking at. And sometimes on these calls, hey, look, this is a lot. I like this trade. Actually, it lines up really, I'm going to place this on my personal account right now. And sometimes, hey, if people on the call decide to do that as well, hey, you can make some money on the calls, right? So right. I guess that would be a good way for beginners to be able to profit with, just getting started. But this isn't a get rich quick. You're not going to make $1 million overnight. It does take time, right? And if anyone ever tells you different, I'd be wary, right? So that's another, no guarantees. It's not a get rich quick. Those are some of the biggest things. Again, also, if someone's asking to manage your account, right? Like I mentioned, because people don't understand this industry, it's very easy to get taken advantage of. No one should ever be managing your account. It's easy to just say, hey, look, I know nothing, you do it, right? And hand over your money. That's illegal, right? Unless someone is a licensed financial advisor, they can't take your money and trade for you and just give you. So, and also, I mean, once you send it away, especially because they're usually taking payments in cryptocurrencies, right? So you send thousands of dollars in Bitcoin to someone who says they're going to manage your money, and they disappear, that money's just gone, right? Yeah. So, and then again, people have a bad taste in their mouth, right? I just lost thousands of dollars. I'm never touching this Forex thing again. So be really careful about people looking to manage things for you. You should always take control of your account, never hand out your broker information, right? So once you put the money in your account, you keep control of that. And if you're really going to learn this skill, dedicate yourself to learning it, right? And also another thing that I do is leveraging different software, different EAs. So now we've got software being able to trade for us for those people that don't have a lot of time, right? So there's still a way that they can take advantage of the market, but they're still in full control of their accounts, right? So, I mean, software is an amazing option, right? But again, if you're going to try to take advantage of this market, if you want to learn the skill, realize, hey, it's going to take a little bit of time, right? I'm going to have to get on some live sessions. I'm going to have to watch a couple of videos and really dive into the skill, but it will be worth it. So those are some of the, eye openers. Hey, look, if you're getting into this industry, these are some things you should know, right? So
can you break down the difference between using a software to trade Forex versus doing it yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest differences between software trading and manual trading is really just how much money you're making. Okay, I'm just going to be totally honest. I would say software is more of this long-term. Most software out there that are consistently working are very, and again, I try to be careful about throwing out numbers out there, right? But just in terms of like ROI and that stuff. And again, past profits don't guarantee future income, right? I'm not promising anyone anything, but typically when I'm using software, I'm always looking for anywhere between like 5 to maybe 10% a month, right? So just those are my personal goals, 5-10% a month, somewhere around there. Now, some months are better than others, right? Some months are a little bit worse, but that's the roundabout. I have a lot of people saying, look, if I don't have a software that's doing 30% a week, I can't touch it, right? Well, the thing is, yeah, there's tons of softwares out there that are doing crazy numbers, but it's not consistent. If I get 30% a week for 3 months and then it blows my account, meaning that I lose everything and it goes to zero, do those 3 months really matter, right? In Forex, it's about living to trade another day, right? I'd rather get 5% a month over the next 3 to 5 years, right? Rather than getting 30% for 2 months and then losing everything. So in software trading, it's more about the long-term vision, right? Einstein had an amazing quote. He called compound interest. Actually, got a picture of Einstein behind you. That's what I was thinking of it. But yeah, right there. So I was saying, he said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, right? He said, he who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. How many times in our lives are we paying compound interest? You have a house, right? You're paying a mortgage. You're paying interest on that. Your car note, your student loans, your credit card debt. These are all situations where compound interest is working against you. So software is the ability for you to have compound interest working in your favor, right? Instead of paying that monthly interest on top of your debt, it's maybe 7% a month. And what's crazy is you can even look this up, right? Google a compound calculator. If you take just $500 over the next, let's say, 3 years, growing at like 7% a month, that $500, if you never add another penny to it, it turns into like $50,000, right? If you leave it in there for 5 years, that $500, never adding another penny to it, in 5 years turns into over $300,000.
Wow.
So it's like, it's so crazy when you really do the math on how compound interest works. And that's really what software allows you to do. It's that long term. And even just thinking about those numbers, what do we do when we have jobs, right? That 401k, that retirement plan, we're working for 20 plus years of our lives to get back and sit back on that retirement plan for what, maybe like $100,000, $200,000 in that retirement plan. And this software trading in Forex is that vehicle to, again, compress time frames, right? Have those same level of returns in just 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really what software trading does. Now, in manual trading, again, it's more time on your end, right? It's more upfront. You're going to plug in some videos, really study the course, take some notes. You know, you're going to be a student, right? But you're learning a skill set. And once you learn how to trade, it's amazing because you can always dive into the market. Like, this is an industry that's never going anywhere. Even during the pandemic and anything that happens, I mean, unless the world bursts into flames and money just ceases to exist, right? Which, I mean, you know, we all know the chances of an apocalypse, right? But unless something like that happens, this is an industry that's always going to be here. So this skill that once you learn it, you literally have unlimited income potential. It's just like real estate, right? What happens in do you have some realtors that are making, you know, a couple $1,000 on the side here and there? Do you have realtors making 6 figures a year? Do you have realtors making 7 figures a year? You literally create your own ceiling with that industry. How much time you want to put into selling houses, and you can create whatever level of income you want. And Forex is that same exact opportunity. You can make a couple $100, you can make a couple thousand, you can make 6 or 7 figures. Again, this is a $7 trillion industry. It's just deciding how much of that pie do you want. So with manual trading, it's putting in the time to learn the skill. Again, reading those charts like a book, right? Figuring out the different nuances of trading and just figuring out how it works. And you have faster profits. So it's not waiting 3-5 years to see a return. You know, maybe in a few months, especially with utilizing some tools. We've got this amazing trading tool called Arrow that is helping people kind of shortcut that process. And I'll just say it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, right? So it's still a software, but it's a manual trading tool. So with Arrow, I mean, we've had people very quickly being able to pick up the skill of Forex because we've created a simple strategy with, as long as you follow the rules, you're able to, see some returns. So I would say that will be the biggest difference between manual and software trading, right?
Love it. Love it. Yeah. And manual obviously is more of an upfront time investment, but on the back end, a greater ROI, right?
Exactly.
It's cool too how you can kind of fit the vehicle to what you're looking for at your point in your life. So, if someone wanted to get more involved with Forex, Paul, what would you tell them?
If someone wanted to get more involved in Forex, well, I would tell them, hit my DMs, right? Get in touch.
Hit them up, guys.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. No. Look, I can definitely help people, get involved in Forex. But if you're looking to just kind of get some more information, or, look, Google is great. There's always different resources. I'm still a fan of YouTube University. One of the things is tons of information, right? Millions and millions of articles. You Google it, you YouTube it, there's millions of articles. I would say know who you're getting your information from.
I was going to say, a way to shorten that curve, though, is find a mentor, right?
Exactly. Finding a mentor, not being afraid to, again, put in the time investment, but also even spending a little bit of money. Like, that's how I got started. I bought a course because I realized that, sure, I can figure it out for free and go through those bumps and bruises of putting in tons of time, filtering out what works and what doesn't work. And, I could spend months on a strategy made by, someone who's just making money off a course and doesn't know anything, right? And until when I finally figure that out, I'm 5 months lost and thousands of dollars in, right? So making sure that I'm getting my information from the right people. So that's why, again, I've dedicated myself to helping people in this industry, because it is incredible. So honestly, guys, I don't want to just self-promote out here, but honestly, just hit me up if you have questions. I could always give out some free free resources. I can always point to some tools that we use. We have an entire education as well as our software that I mentioned. So there's tons of options.
Love it, man. That's awesome. Yeah. It's just interesting because I think that when we don't understand something, we tend to stay away from it. And I think one of the big things with Forex is a lot of people just don't understand it. So therefore they don't mess with it. And for me, I don't know if anybody that's watching this is like me, but I get curious. I like to learn about things. But when I learn about things, I like to go to people that I know, like, and trust, that I know is going to give me good information and wisdom that I can learn from them. And that's why for this situation, I go to Paul. I know, for one, Paul's a great guy. Two, he's built a business out of it and had success. And three, he'd be willing to take the time to teach me more about Forex, share with you guys here on the show. So yeah, I encourage you guys, definitely hit him up, if you want to learn more about Forex. What else? Is there any more to Forex that you feel that the audience hasn't heard today that they need to know, Paul?
I don't want to dive too deep and, start pulling up charts and, really getting off topic. But honestly, again, I know it's very intimidating, especially, if you start doing some of your own research and you start to see the squiggly lines that make your head hurt, it looks way more complicated than it actually is. And I've actually tried to do a really good job, especially on my, Instagram at the Paul Scott Mentality, of just trying to post some reels and just getting information out there, just little bite-sized chunks, right? Just teaching people, educating along the way about Forex, and really just showing how simple the industry is, right? People overcomplicate it. And just like you said, if you don't know about something and it just looks too crazy, it looks too intimate, it's really easy to say, that's just not for me.
Right.
At the time, like I said, if you want something different, you got to do something different, right? Learning a skill set is never a bad thing. So just kind of taking the time and really deep diving and just putting your hands on it. One of the things that I do and our company does is that we have a money back guarantee. We give people the tools. We give you a chance to actually use what's called demo accounts, which, by the way, you mentioned there. Is there something that people need to know? Demo accounts are great. Look, when you start in Forex, you don't just have to throw in thousands of dollars and just dive right in, okay? You can use a demo account, which is basically monopoly money, but it's on real live market conditions. So you get to see, if I really did place this trade, how much would I have made or lost, right? Without having to actually invest anything. So demo accounts are amazing for practicing and just kind of seeing how things work. So our company, basically, when we get people started, we give you the opportunity. You open up a demo account. You get to take advantage of our education. You get to use some of our software. You get to see how these things work, and just test it out. And, for whatever reason you don't like it, you got 7 days, get every single penny back, no questions asked. And if you dedicate yourself to it and say, you know what, I like this, things are going well, let me go ahead and stick to it. We have a month-to-month subscription, back out anytime, but you're dedicating yourself to that education, and you get to practice on these demo accounts. And then after a couple of weeks or months or however long it takes you to get comfortable, when you say, okay, you know what, I think I got a handle on this, let me move forward. The next step is putting in your live capital. And again, I'm not holding your money. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. We don't do any of that. Everything stays in your hands. And we're just giving you the tools to be able to take control of your money and be able to grow it in the Forex market. So you go ahead, we'll show you how to get started with live money. And again, just holding your hand through the process. So
I love it. You guys are basically equipping everyone with all the education and the support that they need to be successful in the industry, which is key. One thing I learned is anytime I get involved with anything, making sure I plug into an ecosystem and an environment that basically keeps me from failing. And that's so important in life. Paul, where's your vision with this, man? Where do you see Forex taking you and your future? And how many people are you trying to impact through this and educate?
Honestly, my vision for this right now is to help over 180 families create a 7-figure income.
Let's go.
So yeah, it's a big vision, but right now, look, we're well on our way. And like I mentioned, with my contract with God in the beginning, I said that I would help people, and I said I would dedicate my life to this industry, and not just this industry, right? I dedicate my life to helping other people. And I truly believe that when you're blessed in life, you're blessed to be a blessing to other people. So I'm never going to stop with this. I'm always going to continue to give back. And like I said, it's an incredible industry, and that's kind of where I see myself going with it. As soon as the borders open back up, I'll get back to doing some more traveling. I've done some small trips here and there, throughout the US. I'll actually be going to Dallas in a couple of weeks, and then I'll be in Orlando in July. So doing a little bit of traveling, but I'm really excited to kind of get the borders back opened up and continue to do this around the world. So I'm just really excited, and that's the vision for this and where I see it going.
I love it, man. It's so important to know where we're going, right, to get there. And obviously you have a passion to help and to serve and to lead, inspire, and educate others to be successful in something that you've been successful in. So yeah, guys, I definitely encourage you guys to reach out to him to learn more about Forex. I know for me, it was one of those things that I just didn't understand it. And when I don't understand something, I'm going to stay away from it. So I hope today, people got to kind of help discern and understand more what it is, how it works, what to avoid, how not to get scammed in it, and where to plug in to learn more about it. And outside of that, I think a big element of what you guys are doing is really cool, Paul, is the personal development side of things. And can you just talk a little bit around the culture that you guys are creating and helping people personally develop?
Man, personal development is absolutely huge. One of the biggest things that really prevents people from being successful in Forex, not just the dedication and putting in the time and plugging into classes and stuff like that, but the mindset. Mindset is the biggest reason that most people fail. And it's over 90% actually in this industry. Over 90% of people fail in Forex because even if you did learn the skill, sometimes people just can't handle the psychology of trading, right? Like when you're a full-time trader, let's say I've got rent coming up and I'm $500 short. Well, if I'm trading full-time, how am I going to get the $500? I'm going to dive into the charts and I'm going to play some trades, right? So that can cause me to panic, right? Rent's coming up, right? So now I'm forcing some trades, things that aren't really there, and that can cause you to lose a lot of money. Or maybe I'm on a hot streak and just think I have the Midas touch. And so now I'm just doing anything that I want because things are going so well. And eventually, again, like I said, best trader in the world, you're going to have some losses, right? So that Midas touch, you get overconfident. So really conquering your mind is a huge, huge part of this industry. And it's why a lot of people fail in it. And that's why also why I kind of lean on AI as well, not just the manual trading, but it's like, look, when you get into those lulls and, you're going through something with your psychology that you need to step away for a bit, it's great to have something else to fall back on and know that your money is still working for you, Yeah. So we really focus on trade psychology. We focus on personal development. and really just kind of helping people being able to master their minds, because it's so huge to being successful in this industry.
Yeah, man. Is this also a good fit for people that just have money sitting and they want to make it work for them?
Absolutely, absolutely. You look at a lot of people, and I always say that there's really two things that set apart the wealthy from the unwealthy, right? It's knowledge and resources. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and a lot of the education and things that the opinions that we have are handed down from our parents and our grandparents and the people in our circles, and it's like everyone has this limited knowledge base, right? Whereas the wealthy have different knowledge, different resources, access to different tools, and it's like we didn't even know that this stuff existed. What I was always taught, and again, even my college fund, right? Like, before when I was a baby, my parents opened me a bank account. Right? They always taught me, right? A penny saved is a penny earned, and that kind of stuff. You always want to have money in your savings and put away for, a rainy day and stuff like that. Not realizing that realistically, when you're saving money, you're actually losing it, right? Well, there's a couple things. The reason that this industry is so big is because the banks are the major players. Like, every single one on this call, Cody, yourself included, right? We're all Forex traders. Did you know that? Because you have a bank account, the bank, I mean, we all know from the Great Depression, if everyone ran to the banks right now, tried to pull out their money, it's not there. Why? Because the banks are investing it. That's how this industry is $7 trillion, because all the banks everywhere, all over the world are this is the major investment of the banks. Now, obviously, they got money spread out in a lot of different things, but majority of it is in the Forex industry. So they're the ones controlling this market. Right? So you're actually having your money work for you. And when the bank makes 100x on your hard-earned money, that's where that one penny that you see at the end of every month, right, of interest, that's where that comes from. It's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's because you've literally made them hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're giving you a penny from it.
Yeah.
Right? So right? Like, he's like, damn, how does that feel? But literally, like, that's what this industry is. So yeah, that's just one of the things.
I love it. Hey, let's take a moment, talk about cryptocurrency. What is your thoughts on crypto?
So you're trying to dive down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to speculate, just because the cryptocurrency market is way more volatile, unpredictable compared to the Forex market, and even some traders. Like, that's why some traders say, you know what, I'd rather go in Forex. It's just a lot easier to read. The crypto markets have major moves, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Bitcoin plummeted, and a lot of the cryptocurrencies, especially that rely heavily on Bitcoin, are all taking a hit as well. Now, eventually, it'll come back up, right? Like, cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. Bitcoin is not dying. That's just, again, my personal belief, off of being a trader for years and years, but it will eventually go back up. So right now, I just think it's a fire sale, right? It's an opportunity for people to be able to get in some different coins for a very cheap price. So yeah, I've definitely dove back in, made some re-entries, and gotten some great coins.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Everything went on sale. I couldn't be happier to watch the market dipping.
Exactly. Now, it's really just about when things are going to turn back around, right?
That's true.
We know it's on sale. We know it's going to go back up. Buying the dip is great, but how far it's going to dip, nobody can really say, right? So
no, and nobody knows that information. We don't know.
Yeah.
And when the next halvening happens or whatever, that'll also typically, if you follow the trend, in 3 years, there'll be another bull market. The question is this bull market over or not?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's there's always an up and down, but the great thing is, when things reverse, we get back into the bull market, right? You're gonna have those higher highs, right? And that's always the best part of a pullback, right? It pulls back to go slingshot forward. So we're gonna have some higher highs. We're gonna see some amazing things from the crypto market. So really excited for that.
Yeah.
And we do some crypto education as well. Some of our tools, especially our manual trading tools, can be used in the crypto market. We're actually going to start trading options very soon. So we've got some options trading courses coming out that'll be launching very shortly. Can't give out any other release dates, but I'll just say it's soon. So yeah, I mean, we've got tons of things, and Arrow can actually be used in stocks, even, any financial market that has charts. We have a tool that can be used in any market across the board. So it's very versatile, and can help in any type of trading. So it's really exciting.
Dude, I love that, man. Tell just a little more, like, Paul, you're doing some cool things, and you have your own umbrella as well within this, right?
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah. And so, like, if somebody, I guess, wanted to get involved with you, like, first of all, let's just go, how can they connect with you? How can they find you?
Well, I believe we're streaming this on Facebook. So, I think my account's attached there. So definitely feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, shoot me a DM. I'm also on Instagram a lot, right? It's at the Paul Scott Mentality. You can find me on there, but also just go to my website, workwithpaulscott.com. Great way, put in your information. Me or someone from our team will definitely reach out to you. You can get your questions answered. And also on my website, I've got tons of more information just breaking down about software trading and about Forex and stuff like that. So that's a great place to go for more information in general, is workwithpaulscott.com. So
Love it. Well, let's connect with him, guys. He's definitely knowledgeable, as you can see today, and a great person. I know I'm an explorer, learning some more wisdom from Paul myself. And Paul, I always just like to ask, as we come to the end of the Motivation Everything show, is there, and there's one question that I want to ask here in just a second, but outside of what we discussed today, is there anything you'd like to share with the Motivation Everything audience that you feel would be valuable for them from your experiences and your wisdom?
yeah, I've seen that, again, even myself included. Nobody likes to lose money, right? Everyone, it's like, all right, can I do this as safely? Like, can you get? You're always looking for that guarantee, right? It's like, I want to do this as safely as possible. I want to guarantee. Look, there really are no guarantees in life, right? And what I've learned from getting into the world of investing is, like, look, you're gonna have these pullbacks, right? Just like in, we talked about cryptocurrency, you're gonna have these pullbacks, you're gonna have these periods, and even when you're losing money in the market, you can't lose something if you know exactly where it's at.
Come on.
Right? Like, the mindset that I've taken with it is like, look, even if I lose money, it's just a loan to the market, right? The only way that I've actually lost it is if I give up in Forex, right? I lose thousands of dollars and say, all right, you know what? This is it. I'm done, right? Then that money's just gone forever. But when I persevere and learn how to utilize the skill, learn how to take advantage of the markets, now I'm making back every penny that I've lost and then some. Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of paying itself off.
Sorry.
Bless you. No, you're good. Bless you. So I would say that's the biggest thing. Not being afraid of losses, knowing that this industry is real. Knowing that you can fully take advantage of it and keep moving forward, just like anything, right? The perseverance.
I love it, man. So true, guys. And perseverance and grit and resilience and not giving up, continuing to learn, go through the motions, making the mistakes. It's part of success. I am amazed at how many people give up and just don't persevere when they're faced with failure and it doesn't go the way they want. And this, I'm sure, going through this path you're on, man, and you're going through it still. We're all going through it. We all are going through ruts and obstacles and times that business and life and money doesn't go the way we want. But that perseverance is so important because you never lose if you don't give up. Like, you really can't. If you remove if from the variable, it just becomes a matter of when.
Right. And the big thing too is that, are you looking for somebody or something to blame? See, right? Like, if you blame the industry of Forex, like, it's so much easier to call Forex a scam, or to say, hey, look, so-and-so is the reason that I lost money, or the reason that this business didn't work out. And so it's like giving yourself that opportunity to quit, right? Because now it's someone else's fault. When you shift your mindset and take full responsibility for anything and everything that happens in your life, by taking that responsibility and shouldering that, you realize, like, well, now I have the power to change it. Right? Like, it's easy to just say, well, it's Forex's fault, right? It's just like in school, right? Studying for a test. When you study and you're prepared and you aced the test, right? Like, you're just going in confident and you did it, and because you knew what you were doing, right? You took the time to study, you took the time and you prepared yourself. And when you didn't, the only time you're wondering, well, dang, did I fail? Did I get in it? because you know that you could have prepared better, right? So when you take that responsibility and you say, you know what, everything's on me. If things don't work out, it's because I could have changed. I could have done this better. Then it's way easier to have that mindset of perseverance. And you know what? Because you know that you can always fix it because everything comes down on you. So that I guess that would be one of my biggest takeaways, not just from Forex, but entrepreneurship in general.
Yeah, I
when you
agree.
better yourself.
That's so good, man. And I want to ask you a question, Paul, as we wrap things up here. And it's a question I try to ask everybody. And it's a question that was asked to me years ago by a mentor when I started going down this journey to build all of this. And this mentor asked me, what breaks your heart in the world? And I really want to ask you that question, Paul Scott, what breaks your heart in the world?
What breaks my heart in the world? Honestly, it's the fact that people don't understand their worth, right? Like people not living up to their potential, right? Like you understand as human beings, like we're God's highest form of creation. And
Come on.
it's like I've seen in my own life, right, where I had this limited view of, impact and what being a police officer could do for my community, how much difference I could make. And now seeing where I'm at now and just the global scale of this impact, way bigger than I could have ever imagined, right? But all of that was on the inside of me, but it took me making a decision and taking action. Like I could have easily stayed in that factory, even saw the Forex thing and said, yeah, that's cool. But it's new and I don't know, my head hurts, the squiggly, I can't do it. Right. Instead of, just diving into the fire, I actually wouldn't recommend my exact path. Right. Because I quit my job, put my back against the wall before I ever started making money in the industry. But that's just kind of where I was, because I knew that I had to be comfortable and create this comfortability with being uncomfortable in order to live up to my greatness, right? If I had this safety net of the job and just kind of dabbled in Forex and didn't have that sense of urgency, that I wouldn't persevere in it, right? So I put my back against the wall, quit my job and said, I got to figure something out to pay these bills, right? And then by diving in, it forced myself to dig deep within and live up to my full potential, to go on this journey of personal development and growth and diving into the industry and learning what I need to learn and taking advantage of these different resources because these bills had to get paid somehow, right? So at the end of the day, maybe some people don't need that putting your back against the wall. And, I would never recommend and say, hey, look, make sure that you're able to put food on the table and take care of the family, do the things you need to do. But definitely just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it breaks my heart that people are so afraid. They're more afraid of the unknown. And really, it's kind of this fear of success, right? This fear of like, well, where can taking this path that I've never been down, where can this lead me? I'd rather stay in this comfortable situation, even though I'm not happy, right? I'm not happy. I hate where I'm at, or maybe I am comfortable. But if something were to go wrong, if there was a little emergency, I'm in a really bad situation, right? I'd rather stay in this comfortable position and just pray that everything goes right, which we know. I mean, look, emergencies are going to happen no matter what, right? Yeah. There's always going to be these times of turbulence in life, no matter what. So it's better to prepare yourself and go down this unknown path. And it breaks my heart that people are so comfortable with just being comfortable, right? Not seeking out greatness, seeking out the best versions of themselves and really willing to step down that path to get everything that is destined for them, right? Everything that they deserve.
Amen, brother. Amen. I agree 100%. Yeah, it's amazing. I love asking that question, and I couldn't agree more. And people need to break out of that comfort zone. They don't realize what it's costing them, at the same time. And then those moments strike, those unexpected tragedies and emergencies, and we're not prepared because we stayed in our comfort zone for so long that we didn't prepare for the unexpected. When the unexpected happens, right, we don't know how to handle it.
Right. But it's even worse. Again, it's a tragedy because again, God brings these lessons back around constantly until you get it, until you learn it. Right. So that same emergence.
Why does this keep happening to me? Well, exactly. You didn't learn your lesson.
There you go. So reflect, make a change, pivot, right? fix the mistake. Prepare yourself in the time of comfortability for the emergency, so then you can move forward from it, right? But just like in school, right? You don't pass the test, what happens? You got to take the test again. You're going to continue to get retested over and over and over until you get it.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. So good. So good. Well, guys, I want to encourage you guys to go connect with Paul. As you can see, he's a wealth of knowledge. And I'll throw up again on here your real quick. Where's it at? What was your what's your website?
Workwithpaulscott.com.
All right, so I'm gonna throw these up for you guys to see, and then your IG, is it I am?
No, it's just the underscore Paul Scott underscore mentality.
I think I got it right. Guys, go connect with him. His IG's fire too. His website's awesome. Let me add this up here just so you guys have it. Did I put that up right?
Yes, sir. Workwithpaulscott.com, the Paul Scott mentality. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, guys, go connect with him. He always drops some fire reels too and some fire content on IG and Facebook. Go check out his website, connect with him. I'm sure Paul would be willing to just hop on a call and be a friend and educate you guys as well. And yeah, man, that's it, guys. This is the end of the Motivation Everything show. I always like to take a moment just to thank everybody that tunes in, everybody that watches the replay, everybody that sees this up on YouTube, and to say thank you guys for taking the time to invest, for taking the time to learn, to be with me and Paul, and just praying blessings and prosperity and fruit over your life, that you get uncomfortable, that you step outside of your comfort zone like we heard Paul has in his life, that you find vehicles that you can use like Forex, that you're willing to step out there, invest in yourself, get mentorship, try new things. Because here's one thing that's certain that I'll leave you guys with. If you keep doing the same things you're already doing, you're going to keep getting the same results that you're already getting. And the only way to change your life is to make a change in your life. And I'll leave you guys with that.
Amen to that. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we're out. Have a good night.